Throughout this video, you will see confidence and strong communication skills. First, you will see me at the circulation desk checking out books to a class.
Computers, I need you to close what you're doing and bring your books, please.
So you mean
Thank you, Tucker, for doing that
I can leave that out and other people will add on to it.
Ooh, we got an airplane. Ooh, 2 nonfictions. I like it. There you go, baby. Hi, Miss Caitlin.
Go ahead and be the gentleman to hold the door.
I literally just grabbed
I like it.
I need help putting
Your hands? That's fine. Yes, you may.
I'm getting a line. But they're both days.
Thank you, dear.
I am dog man.
You are dog man.
Make a paper airplane at home. No, that's it.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, because principal said, club said. It didn't work? I'm trying to doing this. You got this. Guess what, Tucker?
Friends, give me 5. Thank you for those that are standing in line. Tucker, let's just go ahead and get in line. It's going to be a sec, okay? There you go, baby. Table 10, go ahead and come line up.
The pages.
Get your book and go down there.
That was from Braden's book.
Braden, bring me your book really quick, please.
I didn't see it on here.
Let me fix this for you, and I'll bring it back to you later.
Can you
Okay?
put this on? Wait a minute, my pages fell off?
You should be in line with your book, honey. Get in line.
Mason didn't even let me have a turn plane.
Table 10 and Georgia and Nigel, come on back. Give me 5. You are on a 1 in line. If you haven't come to check out your books, come on. Bella, babe, I've already checked out your books. Where should you be? Okay.
Did you make that airplane there? I already have a whole collection in my book box. Yeah, she does. Is that all you have?
Now you will see me setting up a book display for the author of the month. Here is another book display that I set up in the library promoting fall books.
Yeah, is that good?
Mm-hmm.
Start adding some here. Oh, that's what we want.
Here I am assisting the librarian with the library bulletin board. We are promoting books for October.
Close to the top of it as bad as you can. Yeah, you have to like punch it. I don't want to hit your hand. Yeah. Just kidding. That's okay.
broke this one. Just keep it broken. You can stop it and we'll start it.
Here we are
Okay, so go to
printing
reports.
new labels for books and repairing them.
And then go to library reports. And then at the very bottom where it says labels, click on barcode labels. Sort by, you can leave it there, sort by barcode. Do the third little drop down window says select by list of barcodes.
Here?
Yeah, click on it. Go down to barcode list. And then go ahead and type in the barcodes that you want to include.
Do I need to type the T?
No.
Okay. Add.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can do one more than one. 2, 1, 3, 8. Add. Okay.
And then go all the way down to where it says include the following and click on title.
Oh.
Leave it, yeah,
Got
right
it.
there. Yep. And then run report. And then if you click, see how it says pending for the status? If you click refresh list, it should be at the top, yeah. Okay, and then go to view,
Just the
Uh-huh.
top ones.
and there are your 2 barcodes. So then we get a sheet of stickers. You can go ahead and go to print. And then we're gonna go put stickers into the printer and then click print and you're good to go.
Oh, perfect.
Now for the repairing. Here I am cataloging and processing materials.
Bottom down, right?
Right, with the, and then you put the sticker that you want it to print on closest to the front of this side. Wait,
It was right.
it was right, yeah. There you go.
What do you want to do when you're printing stuff?
Do you go ahead and do you use the whole thing and just wrap it around, or do you trim it?
I trim it.
Okay.
Close the door, Mom. Wow. Close the door. Please close the door. Please close the door.
Put a clear sticker on it. Correct?
Yes.
Please close the door.
I would do one the length of the whole.
The
to-
whole spine or
Mhm.
just this piece?
Maybe like a little bit further past.
Would you just kind of bring it?
Mm-hmm. And then pull it tight when you're wrapping it around to the front. Perfect. And then you could even do another one at the bottom, see where it's starting to.
Oh, right here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could do that one wrapped around. My friend. That's when we take clear sticker. Next, you will see me at professional development.
Really enjoying the day. We've learned about the Nearpod, Goose Chase, and different makerspaces to use from ages from kinder to high school. And it's just been awesome. The vendors here are awesome and learning all the different things we can do in the classroom and in the library. And I've loved it.
And we got free t-shirts.
And we got free t-shirts.
Here I am promoting reading by guiding a student at the book fair to find books that interest her.
Why do I have a feeling that's
We're gonna stop at this space, okay? So look, Ellie, watch me do any of these spaces. Okay?
Here I am managing an interlibrary loan with the librarian at Conroe High School.
College Park.
Sure.
Okay.
And it's gonna get off the shelf, and then we'll check it out to the student, okay? Wait, what's the call number?
It is FCOY.
Remember, our fiction is by John. And this one is sci-fi.
That's it. Perfect. Then we'll just send it to the other school.
We'll get a campus mail envelope,
Okay.
and we'll send it to the library at that school, and then they contact the student.
Do you have an envelope? Or do you need to-
We'll have to go
Think
get
we
an
need-
envelope. Go ahead and pull up that student in our system. Okay.
And then it'll be due the same day.
And then you can go ahead and email back saying that you've checked it out to the student and we're sending it through campus mail. You know what, we might actually have paper. Sometimes if we have paper and we don't have an envelope, we can just wrap it up and send it to them. Is that gonna be big enough?
Yep.
All right. And then we can write, just like we did on this one, to them.
Okay.
Thanks, Amber. Bye. Just put College Park Library. Bye, girls. Have a good day. Bye. See you later. Everyone. Okay. CLU, wait, sorry, CLU, yeah.
And subject books. Is that fine? Your books. Can we say we will?
We have them at the circulation desk.
Circulation desk. Stop by to pick them up when it's convenient. Them up when it is. Perfect. And so she'll
Okay,
have
let's
her
go
books
to
and she'll pick
checkout
them
and just to double check that it is under her Bloom,
Okay.
and then click Find Patron. Suzanne. Okay, so she hasn't checked them out. Let's see if they'll let us. I don't know if it will. Nope. Yeah. So she checked them out under me. Check this one out. So we will email.
Patterson.
Okay, just go ahead and sign that.
Patterson Elementary. So go back to your email. The Patterson Elementary Library is Amy Haggard. Haggard.
And subject, just check.
What did we
put? I just put classwork.
What are y'all
Yes,
here to do?
put interlibrary learning.
Okay, the instructions are on the computers.
And just put, please check out Hey Little Ant.
Can you please check out? Did you caps lock it on? And
I love this story.
me too. Three little pigs. And what pet should I get to? And then her ID.
Suzanne Bloom.
ZANNE. So two. Thank you. I just need a private CZANNE.
If you want to put in parentheses S Bloom, that's fine.
Right here.
All right.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna
Here
wait
you
till
will
your
see me
screen
using
gets to mine
reference
before we're
skills
waiting.
by
I wanna
teaching
talk about-
students
we
at
have
Conroe
these
High
brochures,
School
right,
about the
front
Gale
desk that lists
databases.
the different resources, like the different databases and the passwords, because you need the passwords at home. So that's why it's important. You can access it all on the website, and I'm gonna show you that. But when you wanna log into it, they require a password we have to use. So we're gonna start, I think everyone saw the screen. So your screen should look like mine. And we're gonna go to Google Chrome. And it might bring up different, but then we're gonna go to our CHS homepage. So it doesn't bring that up. A couple still loading.
They could. No. Just see
Okay,
it.
you're already there. Perfect. I'm not there yet, but we're getting there. I'm gonna wait. I know, it's it. Yours is there. There we go.
Now it's you, not that.
But if it didn't bring you, see, and then if you're at home, it's just chs.conroeisd.net. And that'll take you to our Conroe High homepage. And that's not gonna be You've grown perfect. Why don't you try that number 19? What is yours saying up there?
Real black one customizing.
Let's try. You
I
want-
think it's just being slow because
It is.
it's got his name.
Oh, okay.
Some computers are slow.
All computers.
So when you're here, I'll catch you up in just a second.
Okay.
You're gonna go to Campus Live, and then Library is an option. It's right under Dress Code, and you're gonna click Library. And then this is all our stuff. It has our hours and stuff like that. And then the important part is these Gale Quick Link. So if you click Gale Quick Link, it has Gale databases, and that's what you want. Just click those databases. And then you should see all these icons of different databases that we have and that is free to you. And they're all websites. Everyone should be at this screen where it lists all our different Gale databases. And today we're gonna look at student resources in context. It's this one on the far right on the bottom. It's red. We're gonna go ahead and click that. And then see, and there's that password thing that you'd really need, like if you want to take one of these brochures at home and keep it, it comes in very handy. So your password is Lone Star. So LONESTAR. All one word, no spaces and no capitals, all lowercase. And just hit sign in. And it should bring you to this screen, and it has like a featured topic. It has different featured topics that you can learn about too, but I'm going to teach you how we can search the topic you're wanting and how you can browse a lot of their topics. So does anyone have, so first I'm going to show you, like if you click browse topics right here, it's going to list all their topics. And that's a lot if you think about it. That's pretty overwhelming if you look at that, all their topics. But you can search a certain topic that you're wanting. Does anyone have an example of a topic you want to search?
Military.
Military? Okay. So you would just type military. And then look, even all these options come up if you want like the service, the personnel, the operations, action, force, like it even gives you more topics if you want to limit it. So we're just going to click military. So, and it brings you, the first things it brings you are like the reference, like we have the Vietnam War, Valley Forge, and Cuban Missile. So that might not be exactly what you're looking for. Okay, if you can get back
Throughout
to
this, you will also seeing integration of information technology.
If you go down a little before, if you don't know exactly your topic, but say for example, you know you want to search one person. So here's like all your biographies, and you can click view all, and it gives you all different people you could do a biography on. Anywhere from like, we have Anne Frank to, Galileo, all of them. Even to stars, we have Marilyn Monroe. You name it, it's probably here. And so all these people, and even, did I just see? LeBron James, sports people, history, all of it. But then if you go back, it jumps to like, it has your business and economics, you could search things. Geography, if you're having to do a research thing on a place, and you can hit geography and find all the different places. And then, if not, if you don't know, you can browse all topics, and that's where we just were. And there's the all topics. But say, again, like he knew he wanted to search military, you can just search it in the search bar. Did anyone have another example of something they wanted to search? So yeah, but then when you click on, so I'm gonna go back because I like biographies, and I'm gonna go to Anne Frank because I'm very intrigued by her. And I'm gonna find her name. And if you want to find someone else, you can, but I'm gonna click on Anne Frank for biographies. And I'm gonna show you how. So go ahead and click on a biography or a topic. Thank you. I see you're on Anne Frank. And then, so it just gives you this little piece first, but if you hit read more, it's gonna give you a full more of a full article and include like more things that Anne Frank is about. So we have like the Holocaust, which that's what she was part of. The annex concentration camps, a timeline, I mean, all this goodness. And so if you're researching and say we run out of time, you can send this whole document to your Google Drive. And that's right here. It's like on this right-hand corner. You can send it to your Google Drive, the whole document. And then also, these tools, I mean, they're great. It has like a citation tool, so if you're having to research this for class, you're gonna have to cite it. Well, if you hit citation tool, go ahead and hit it. It cites it for you, like you're done. And then you can select also export to your Google Drive, and you can export it. And you wanna like select this one, and then it exports it to your Google Drive. Your citing is done. And then one last tool I want to show y'all that I think is really awesome is say I'm reading and I think I really liked this timeline. I can highlight the timeline and choose highlight and choose a color. Choose any color you like. And then I can add notes to this. Like, why did I highlight it? Why did I select that? So I could add shows and life in a timeline. I mean, and then just save it. So that stays highlighted. I'm gonna let y'all do that. Perfect. Yeah, just highlight. Choose. So you have to do that read more right. And then like you can highlight something. And then like you can write notes about it. So if you click notes, like you can type like whatever you were thinking or like when you read that, why you highlighted it, why it was important to you. Okay, so then we're all there. And see this too, then you can go back at the end of your, after you've like read your document and looked at everything that you wanted to see, you can go back to our handy dandy tools, and if you click highlight and notes, it's gonna show you what you highlighted, and it's gonna show the notes that you put.
Here you will see strong communication skills with a student coming in the library.
Why are you here? We need you to sign in, please. Come sign in. Come sign in, please, and then we need to check it out. Okay? And you need to take off your hood, remember. And thank you. We can't have that hood on.
Okay.
Check out the hood. Okay. And what's your ID number?
I don't know.
You don't know? What's your last name?
I don't know.
Well, you gotta know your last name if you want the book.
Okay, where you done? I'm sorry, I can't. I'm about to laugh.
Statistics, you're gonna
Here,
go
Ann and
to
I are looking at
reports
different
and
statistical
destiny.
reports.
And then we're gonna do library. And this is where we find
library statistics. We can change, and then if we want to do a specific time period, if we wanted to do October, we can change it to the part of October that we're in. Okay, so we can click here. And then go. And it shows us how many books that have been checked out so
and
far.
the holds too.
Which is very important because I think we put a lot of holds, junior high and high school. Like elementary students, I think they want a book and then they change their mind and like, oh yeah, I don't want that book anymore. My mom bought it or whatever. But in high school, I think it becomes critical because they really want certain books. So here's our circulation for so far this month. But whenever we do tracks, it has before school, it has lunch. If you doing the computer or classwork, maybe they're here to take a test, maybe they're just here to read or to check out a book, or then after school. So it definitely lets people know that we have a lot of students here at 6:45 in the morning. We have a lot of students from 3 to 5.
Right.
So I have it starred, so go ahead and open up our statistics. And these are so far. So we've had statistics since 2013, so you can find where we are now.
Right here.
Okay, so we have the school year, the month. We no longer have to put how many teachers are on campus or our student enrollment.
Right.
But we do put in our circulation, how many hours before and after school. Estimated number of students that visited during the day is critical on our track system because did they come in just to check out a book or they're here for lunch? We can add all that in.
Right.
Number of volunteers, of course, there's none at this campus, but I believe at College Park and a few other high schools and junior highs, there may be some.
Right.
We don't do technology here, but some campuses do technology repairs, how many tickets were entered. And this is where you add in anything that doesn't get covered. So I always put like how many classes were in the lab. Yes, I could put in the circulation,
Right.
but especially in May, the last day to
And I
check
see you
out.
add like the databases, like how many times it's used in the sessions and
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
That's good.
And I always highlight this, students before school and after school, and I think a lot of high school students do that because we are open and stay late. So there's a lot of students for the month, if you think about after school, 1,043. There's a lot of students that need, either they're waiting for a late bus or maybe they need to use a computer or needed to print something.
Right.
There's even students that work on projects together. So there's lots of students in here.
All right.
Anyway, so that's
nice.
part of our statistics. And the track system, I'll just minimize this. So when we run our report at the end of the day, we can log in. Oops. And junior high and high school, you can pick the day, the time, and this is where it exports out to get
Right.
this information that we print out.
Perfect. All right. That's good.
Here I am cataloging new books to put in the library.
And then we're gonna put this bottom number right
On the title page, because if we had another one, we still need to add room to stamp our book too, with our school. And I just put it at the very bottom.
Okay. And we're going to add title
Okay, add title.
and ISBN. We're gonna scan the ISBNs. Perfect. We're gonna choose the first one. And we're going
I like to go all the way over to copies to see who already has it. And then it's already in our district, which is great. And then,
add copies.
mhm.
And we're gonna scan. Perfect. So we're gonna
And then go down to call number,
and then you said it's 1.
50, that's the one we've been using, 150, yeah.
Perfect.
And then the purchase price,
Round up
I usually
to
round up
2.
to 5, yeah.
Perfect. And then we're gonna go location, CHS.
Mm-hmm.
Vendor undefined, and then donated.
And then add,
Save. Right?
save,
Save copies.
okay? And then you can go back to add title, and we can add this last one.
Perfect. I'll do this one.
of schools have this one. We're gonna add.
This one is different because it's pet lovers.
Okay.
So we're gonna delete the very end until it says 818, and then the slash, and then space, and then do CAN.
Y'all have a good day.
Bye. And then the price.
Same, 13. Perfect. CHS. And done. Save copies. There we go.
I'm in another
Here I
rotation
am
now
discussing
here,
flexible
and we have
scheduling with the librarian at
and it's
Conroe High
fixed.
School.
We're not in the rotation, but like every teacher is signed up for a time, and she doesn't have many open minutes, I guess you would say, other than she has a few open checkout times, but it's done by 8. And so I've noticed here everything is flexible. And how do you feel about it all being flexible?
I like
Or the
flexible because a teacher and a student may want to read on a Monday or have something that they need to do on a Monday, and they can't come in until Wednesday or Thursday, and it doesn't fit with their schedule. Although sometimes I do believe that there is a time the teachers plan, but things do come up.
Right.
Right.
So is there a way that like for collaborating lessons, or when teachers want to use the lab or they need the library, is there a way they can sign up and just come do that?
Yes, so I have a Google Doc, and it has the schedule. So from our website, they can look at the schedule and they can plan ahead and know, okay, we're full or whatever. Or they can see, okay, I just want the lab on Friday morning. Yes, it's great. But what if they wanted it on Friday and to check out? Well, we already have 2 classes that are checking out. So if they wanted their class in the lab, having 3 classes check out is sometimes hard.
Right.
But it's sometimes doable, and it depends on the teacher and the class. But we would be able to probably do that. But also too, we have to know in advance to kind of help coordinate, because we have to eat lunch too.
Right.
And sometimes 5th period gets a little tricky, and having to know like when they have lunch or when they have planning, things like that, and what they need me for. Do they need me to teach something in lab, or if they're just gonna do something, type up something, a resume or whatever, and they don't even need me, then that's fine. So,
And I see how I like down here, you can look at past when teachers can, and they can go
yeah,
forward.
so
if they
I
wanna
already
plan
have
ahead.
classes scheduled to check out through May, and I already have books due May 17th.
I love that. That's good.
So if it's a history teacher, they need to use the lab, I put it in there. Science, there was a science teacher that used it for 3 days. They didn't need me at all. But sometimes they want me to go over the Gale databases, and that's what's crucial. I need to know what they want.
Right.
So,
And during this flexible scheduling, it's good because students can come and go whenever they want. Just because there's classes in here doesn't mean it's closed.
right.
That's good.
And sometimes we do have to close. The library will put up dates and let them know in advance, because sometimes there's mentor luncheons in here. And if we already have classes and mentor luncheon, there's just a lot going on.
Right.
But not very often do we ever have to
That's
close.
good. Well, that sounds pretty good.
And in elementary, when you're in rotation, it's kind of hard to have kids from another classroom coming in to check out when you're in rotation. Whether, if you have volunteers, that's great, but sometimes some classes and some campuses don't have volunteers. So we don't have volunteers here, but we have student aides that can kind of help out when we need something done. So every campus is different.
So
Here
saw
I
you
am
were
discussing
telling me
with
about the
Ann how
calendar when we
teachers sign up to
start
come
flexible
into the library if they
scheduling,
want to
how you
use the
manage
labs.
skills, and
This
was the
shows
calendar.
library management
How,
skills.
That's my calendar. How do they sign up for how do they sign up for this?
Okay, go to the Conroe High School's website,
Okay.
and then Campus Life Library. And on the far right, it says Library Computer Lab Schedule.
Perfect.
And then here they can view the
so they
schedule
can
to
see if it's even available.
Right, whether it's the lab or checking out or what they need.
Right.
And then that's where they request, and they fill
And they
in
just fill this
what
out,
they
and
need.
you have to approve it and turn it in, and then you put them in.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And so if
perfect.
there's a conflict, I usually email them back, let them know that there's already, because some teachers forget to view, or they just
Right.
want to send it in anyway, because sometimes I can squeeze. I can let them know, we've already got a class scheduled in the lab, and I can't do that day, or Or we can meet at the back if there's already class in the front and kind of adjust. Or if they want me to pull books, there's more room at the back than there is here. But usually we try to squeeze everybody in.
Hi.
This shows a reference
I need
interview.
a biography for class.
Okay, like a biography just on anybody, or does it need to be a certain time period or certain event, or just whatever?
Maybe somebody who experienced the Holocaust.
Okay, are you studying World War II or World?
Yes.
And this
Yeah.
for school?
Yes.
Okay, and you want a biography. Do you want someone that maybe survived and went through it, or do you want like someone that was a leader in the
I think a survivor.
survivor? Would you like it to be a female or a
Yeah,
male?
female would be good.
What about, have you ever heard of Anne Frank?
Yeah.
Would you like, she went through it and she wrote a book about her journey.
Yeah.
Would you like a book on her?
Let's do that
Okay,
one. I'll try
let's
that.
see what I have. Let me check the catalog. We're gonna do Anne Frank. And you can also, if you're doing in class, have you checked out our databases?
No?
Ooh, you can also check out our database. You have to come out. We have a few books on Anne Frank. We have a graphic novel also on Anne Frank, and I have a couple graphic novels. And it's going to be in the historical section. And let me write down this call number for you.
Okay.
You want me to write down, does a graphic novel interview, or we have the Diary of Anne Frank too?
Let me do the Diary of Anne Frank since it's for class.
Okay. Diary of Anne Frank. Do you need help finding it, or you want me to come, or do you think you can find it if I give you the call number?
I think I can find it.
All right, perfect. Very good. Good. Let me know if you need any more help.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you. Okay.
Here we
so I
are
was curious,
discussing
like,
reading
do
and
you
how she
maintain,
manages
like,
the
your collection, like,
library
with
and
reading?
keeps
Do
her
you want
collection
your
up to
library
date,
be
which
that
would be
exemplary
advocating for an exemplary school
status? And I
library
know, like,
program.
reading and looking at your collection and the statistics of like the age of the books and like if it's being checked out as you. So how do you?
Right, and
Love
so
that.
since I was new, I did a report last year, and the librarian before me, we did 9,000 books.
Oh my goodness.
So the best part about Destiny is using Tidal Wave, and they can analyze your collection and tell you different areas that you need to work on, what's the oldest. And I knew I needed to work on nonfiction, specifically even biographies, because there were some biographies like Sean Cassidy, these kids don't even know, and they were asking for people that we didn't have.
Right.
And you got to stay current, and we even needed more memoirs that some of these students were wanting.
Right.
And so I knew that some areas, but I didn't know exactly. So I ran the collection analysis, and I pulled it up, and it pulled up specific. And I went
Okay.
ahead and ran reports, and I did print some out because I wanted to kind of keep some of this.
Right.
And I realized that the librarian before probably updated some of this, but some of the older ones wasn't deleted, like police
Right.
brutality. Do we need police brutality from 1975?
No.
Right. So it was updated, but there was 2 copies from 1975, from 1998, but then there's a 2001. So then I started thinking, well, we could delete the other ones and keep 2001, and that could be something I can continue to work on.
Right.
So my purchase order that I'm working on now is updating some of my reference and some of my hot topics. And some of my hot topics right now are legalizing marijuana, vaping, which a lot of kids think that it's healthier than smoking. So I wanted an update resource on smoking. So as I'm talking to them about topics, I'm always writing down. And if they're talking about biographies and somebody wanted country western singers, we didn't have George Strait. And I was like, okay, we don't have any country western singers. We have plenty of rap and things like that. So I started listening to what they were saying. And then there was even a student that wanted cowboys. And he even mentioned specific John Wayne. And I was like, hey, I know John Wayne and I'm older, but he said he watches movies with his dad. And I'm like, okay. So I started looking at what students are looking at and what they're needing. But having this report helps me know that I need to weed. And at the same time, when I'm pulling them, I'm also updating my current order. And I always have Tidal Wave open. So as I find something I need, if I'm talking to a student, I immediately go and I'll write it down and search for it later whenever I have a few minutes. So
Perfect.
constantly adding.
So it's kind of just like a constant thing you're doing almost all year long, like just slowly and.
Yes, and so one thing about high school is that there's days that it's very busy. We have 3 classes in there, the checking out, they're doing research, I'm doing this. And then there's days that they're kind of slow.
Right.
And these are days that I can kind of sit here and print reports and look at them and go back and having aides, they can help me pull some books. But then I did notice that some students were just pulling the title and not looking at the copyright date. So I realized that, yes, they can pull books for me, but then I still need to be the one to make sure they pull the right copyright, because even though I tell them, they're not gonna. So this is something that I started looking at. So as you can look through here, these are the 300s, and I've highlighted some, but like 1998, East Texas calling, the history of telephone exchange from okay, that's a history of Conroe, maybe we need to keep that. So I didn't highlight that. But there are some that you have to like look at and then look, is there anything that you could get from a sole source that's not on Follett?
Right.
Something locally and update something that's even on Conroe. So
Well, thank you.
think that
Thank
helps.
you. That does. That does. Thanks. How are you today?
Here, a student is asking for a book that is not available. Here, I'm showing digital citizenship by not sharing with her who has the book.
Let's see. We do, but they're both checked out right now.
Who has them?
I can't tell you that, but I can put it on hold for you. So when it's turned in, I can put it on hold for you, and you'll be the next to get it.
Okay.
Does that work? Okay. So let me. What's your name?
Mallory Fauché,
Can you spell your last name for me?
Faucher.
Perfect. Okay. All right, it's on hold for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.